Astra, let's talk about it. This is a coin that I like to find these coins or look into these coins that are low cap, but also most important thing is how new they are. Like if they're from this year, I think it's one you really need to look closely at for, a big gain for this next bull run, assuming it happens. I still have my doubts with the recession. I'm hoping we can get back over 69K and see a big move by the alts. I think we'll still have, even if the market goes sideways into 2025, I think we will still see some big ranges that we can trade in, and some of these alts will really take off during those times. All right, so let's look at it. Current market cap's about 1.5, fully diluted is 4 million. Yeah, 4 million. And the volume is up about 6x, 6.5x over the last 24 hours. So which means, of course, the volume has gone up quite a bit compared to the market cap. But here, obviously, you're just looking at sideways action for the most part. It's come down all the way from 40 cents or so when it was first released onto the market. And it had some volume spikes here. These volume spikes here don't look like anything, but as we look into the chart, you're going to see that they actually produced a pretty good move. So these are the moves we're talking about. When Bitcoin is going sideways, usually we get some good moves on the alts as well. And I don't really care what these coins do. Some people will go into a whole hour-long video about what these groups do that have created the coin. But the problem with that is you don't know that any of these projects are legit. We've seen plenty of them that are fake, that just rug pull once it goes up high enough. So, what's the point in looking into it? All right, so I'm going to start and just do a couple quick resistance areas here, which these don't matter as much. These would matter if it was getting close to that price. And just because this is where it started at 40 cents, or actually up here, looks like it was as high as 84 cents on this chart with KuCoin. Doesn't mean it's ever going to surpass this number. It doesn't even mean it's going to get back up here to 35 cents. Just be aware of that. But one thing I wanted to note here is that there's a ton of big negative volume candles here, but then you've got this big green candle here where there was a bunch of buying that surpassed this biggest one from August. So somebody's buying here, and they're buying in large amounts. Go down to the weekly. So all I'm doing here is just marking support resistance areas. There's another one right in here somewhere. I don't know, it's something like that. And there's more. There's one here in the middle somewhere as well. Probably somewhere in there, but these don't matter as much right now. I would suspect this is the range we might see for a little bit, because if you think about a Wyckoff structure, this could be your automatic rally right here. And then you could come down one more time, then up one more time, then do a spring and come back up. This thing could play out for a while, but we should take advantage of any sideways action and buy the support and sell the resistance usually. Because you can always just jump back in, even if it got over the resistance, closed a candle up here, you could jump back in. So, try to make your profits when you can, or at least take 50% profit and let the rest ride, something like that. So here's all those volume candles. Somebody's been buying a lot right here as this thing rounded out on the bottom. And really, if you want to look at it this way, this looks like a inverted head and shoulders. There's a shoulder, there's a head, there's a shoulder. Yeah, it's probably better visualized here on the daily. All right, so here's market cipher. We were in deep red on the money flow. and your MACD is above 0. Looks like it might be curling back up here, which, that's kind of what's happening on the daily. Just remember, a higher time frame takes a lot longer to play out. It's probably going to put in a green dot here, and it may even push it higher for a while. But if you do enter, personally, I would probably wait to see if it closed a candle above here before I entered anything, because it could just come right back down here. But really what you have to do is at least go down to the 3-hour and see what's going on. Yeah, you got some candles that have closed above that line there, and I'm not positive. Yeah, that looks like a pretty good line. I think that's a good support line there. I drew it kind of quickly. But your money flow is still red. You got a red dot here on market cipher. It could still play out that it comes down, pushing price back down here. And the reason why I wanted to go back over this one is because someone asked me to review this coin yesterday, and I just thought I'd go into more depth because it did end up taking off after we talked about it. I thought it was going to go sideways for a little bit longer, but it didn't. But this doesn't look too bad here. I mean, you're into green territory on the money flow. Volume's coming down a lot, which is pretty normal, with sideways action. You do want to see these steady moves up instead of a big straight move up. So it's possible that this is just a little rest that it's taking, and it's holding the support, and then it takes off again. There's a little bit of resistance over here it's dealing with. You definitely want to see it hold this line if it's going to stay bullish, because this was clearly a swing failure here. And really, I don't like to see this. This is more like a bear flag when it goes real aggressively up like that. Well, I guess they're both kind of similar, but this one at least, instead of just pushing straight up like that, it kind of rolled up and then it held for a little bit. And now we're going to see if it keeps moving. You always want them to take a little bit of a rest so it can keep the move going. Otherwise, it gets overheated and comes back down. Yeah, so your really low time frame seems like it wants to get back into the red money flow. There's not many people buying here just yet, but you're still holding the support, so that's fine. I would say this is an okay place to buy it. You always want to buy at support, sell at resistance. Or on the flip side of that, if you're taking a short, you sell at resistance and buy back at support. But there's really no clue here yet as to what it's going to do. The lower time frames look okay. Candle close below this line, candle close below both of the moving averages here, the 1221, I would be out of it. But I'm thinking about picking up a position here myself, just because I do like to buy at support. But yeah, your stop loss can be real tight here. I would say, what would that be? I always do at least a 5% stop loss. Yeah. And you could even do 5% below the support line, which would be roughly 00363, 00364, something like that. And then your targets going back up would be something like right here. This would be your first take profit, 5244. Well, 5244. And then the next one, 0068 something. Yeah, 0068 roughly. And then of course, if it gets above that, there's much higher targets, but this is just short-term sideways action. These are the targets you want to look for. If it makes it past that, we can talk about targets, further ahead. I like to do these quick scalps, doing either, this, number one, this is a good spot play. This is fine if you want to buy it for a spot play and hold it for a while. But as far as leverage trading, which I like to do as well, these are the ranges you want to look at. This is the bottom of your range. This would be the top of your range, middle of your range, or if it falls below here, then this would be the new bottom of the range. And it may just go in between here for a bit. There's actually another one right in here somewhere because of all this support. Trying to think if there's anything else I can show you. I think that's about it. We can look at open interest. It doesn't show it on this one. There's not any information. Yeah, there's no information on that. I think that's about it. Could look at stochastic. It's overheated, but that's on the 6 hour. Yeah, short term it could go up. Long term, yeah, short term looks oversold. But anything 6 hour and above looks like it wants to come back down eventually. So 6 hours from now, you could see it turn back around. But these candles take a while. Each candle is 6 hours, so it could take a while for it to roll over if it's going to. Let me just look at a few other things here. Now that's curling up there on the 12. That's curling up. And the 6 hour is the only one that looks not real great. I mean, this just tells me it could go sideways for a bit. And that's what I was seeing yesterday as well. It had a little bit of a move up since yesterday when I looked at it, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail for anybody looking to get into this one. Yeah, okay. Well, I think that's about it. If y'all have any other coins you want to look at, ones that you think could be taken off soon, especially ones that are low cap, ones that are from this year or late last year, something like that, less than a year old, those are the ones you want to look at. All right, y'all have a good one.